Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the dreaded D-Rose report. Congratulations, New Orleans. Colts will see you in about a week or so. One caller that had called the hotline, he kind of thinks that TNA is maybe going to come up with a four horsemen of their own. Do you think that's going to happen with AJ and Flair and you never know who else? I don't know. You can leave your opinion if you want. Anyway, you know, as far as Ken Anderson, by the way, he's going to be making his TNA live event debut on February 5th, 6th, and, or 4th, 5th, and 6th, I guess, in Kansas and Missouri. If you live that way, you'll see him. Dave Meltzer of Pro Wrestling Observer reports that there's been talk amongst TNA creative that they want to bleach AJ Styles' hair to go along with the new Ric Flair storyline. If AJ has anything to say about it, it probably won't happen, but you never know. At the next set of Impact tapings, he may show up with blonde hair. I wonder if he's going to have a little balding spot too. No. Anyway, as noted before, Shawn Michaels recently appeared on KISS FM radio station in San Antonio, Texas. Talked about his new DVD. Shawn also said that DX will probably be disbanding after WWE's Royal Rumble pay-per-view, so he and Triple H can focus on the WrestleMania matches that's going to be coming up. And when asked if he had any plans to retire, Shawn says, well, that's the million-dollar question. He said, I'd like to go on record as saying I've been trying to retire for the last 3 years. He said WWE makes it difficult. You know, Vince is nuts. He said, I try to walk away from wrestling, and all at once WrestleMania comes up, which it does once a year. It's been doing that for a while, but they put me in a match, so I do well in the match. Vince doesn't make it easy to walk away. You know what he means by that, don't you? Don't make it easy. It's this. This don't make it easy. Alright, WWE returns to South Shore Music Circus in Massachusetts the 28th. Cape Cod Medley Tent in Hyannis, Massachusetts on the 29th. Please make a note of it. Tonight's Raw is going to be taking place at the Nationwide Center in Columbus, Ohio. No matches have been announced for the tonight's Royal Rumble Go Home show. But special guests are going to be Del Hill and James Roden from USA Psych. John Cena and Sheamus has been advertised locally, so I don't know whether it's going to be a dark match or whether that happened or not. We'll find out in a few hours. It's about 2:30 now. WWE Intercontinental Champion Drew McIntyre reportedly severed a dislocated patella during his match Tuesday night for the Tuesday SmackDown taping. And if he dislocated it, it's probably right around there somewhere where it used to be. Just look. McIntyre wrestled live events though over the weekend. It appeared to be fine. R-Truth told the New Zealand Herald this past weekend that he and John Cena are talking about collaborating on a music project of their own. That'd be odd music. As noted before, this past Thursday's episode of WWE Superstars on WGN scored a 1.1 cable rating. This week's rating is the highest number in the show's history since it debuted in April '09. April 16th, by the way. Eric Escobar, WWE released him. It wasn't no big surprise within anybody in the company. Escobar has a reputation to be a major headache. Me too. Anyway, during his time in developmental down in Florida, I guess, a lot of people were even surprised he got called up to the main roster. Kevin Nash said to be unhappy with the band nickname. And it's kind of being used on the TNA thing now, but the name comes from a line that NWO used in WCW, but now Nash feels like it's too dated. He don't like it. But apparently the screw job from years ago up in Canada, that's not dated though. Fresh. Good idea. Yeah, TNA has updated its roster with profiles from Eric Bischoff, Angelina Love, she's back on there again, Ken Anderson, Brian Kendricks, and Bubba the Love Sponge of all things. Reality star Trishelle Quintella who is featured on Hulk Hogan's Celebrity Championship Wrestling a while back, I guess, said that on her Twitter page she would love to join TNA. Well, who wouldn't? Other than Vince. Another reality star, Joey Carver, of the reality show Real World and VH1 Celebrity Rehab fame, is featured on TMZ website, where they talk about Joey's training and hopes to get a deal with TNA because Hogan is his hero growing up. And it was obviously that the Real World, that Joey is a big wrestling fan, even though he appeared in some of the independent wrestling shows around Chicago after the Real World had aired. Robert Roode, by the way, James Storm of Beer Money, have expressed their frustration to people in TNA after they heard that Vince Russo saw them as expendable and not top stars. Storm said that is to be very upset and at how little they were featured on the big January show, the 4th. Everybody can't be the main event. It said that there's no noticeable friction between the team, and Russo says that they get along just fine backstage. Oh, what have I got? 6 minutes. Okay, WWE diva Kellie and the late Andrew Tess Martin were not dating at the time of his unfortunate death, but the wrestler's ex-girlfriend tells the Daily Star that the deceased wrestler remains on her mind. Said, not a day goes by that I don't think about Andrew. He was an amazing person who had so much love to give to the world. He loved wrestling, says Kellie. And I like to talk to him and tell him that how much the world loves the man, and a big part of my life. We were together for 2.5 years, and when I first started, Andrew looked after me. My gosh, I would look after her too. I do now. She adds also that Tess, who died March of '09, was the love of her life. Since Tess' passing, Kellie explains that she has been dedicated to improving, herself in the ring as a performer. Nothing that the Divas make the same type of commitment to WWE as male superstars, she stresses. We're all good-looking girls, but we want to be seen as legitimate athletes and not just pretty faces. Well, you're going to have to cover yours up then, because we'll prove to the world that we may. I'm get over this here in a minute. Prove to the world that we belong where the guys do, and credits Katie Leah for teaching her a lot about in-ring wrestling. PWI Insider, by the way, Abyss, Kevin Nash, Shane Douglas, Al Snow, Tommy Dreamer are all filming roles for an upcoming independent movie, Ultimate Deathmatch 3, this coming weekend in Portland, Oregon area. So you might, if you live up in that area, you might see them running around. Like I was this past Thursday's episode of SmackDown Impact scored a 1.3 rating, rounding it up from a 1.26. The show drew 1.9 million viewers, by the way. Opening quarter hour with the Hulk Hogan, all that stuff, final 2 hours of the night was the highest rating of the show, was 1.32. And I think in the middle of it, it was pretty much down. What have we got? Let's see, about a minute and a half. January 21st episode of WWE Superstars. I was told you did a 1.1 rating, and then the replay did a 0.2, so it kind of went down, I think. Maybe they watched it instead of watching the rerun. They watched it. Anyway, Dolph Ziggler versus Jimmy Wang Yang didn't air on this week's Friday Night SmackDown, possibly due to time restraints. I better get off of here. I'm going to run out of time. So, what have I got? It's like a minute. Anything big on here? Hey, I'll update this later if I get any kind of information I find out on the internet or wherever that somebody did something stupid. I'll get on here and let you know about it. Thanks for clicking the Dreaded D Rose Report. I gotta go.